Raikan Topaini is for Thai drama lovers only. Hello, Sawadee-kha, and welcome to a special episode of Axelle's Guide to Thai Dramas. And this special episode is indeed very special because I will be ranking all of the dramas that I watched in 2025. Before I start, just a few disclaimers. Number one is that I am filming this a little bit early. Usually I would film this towards like the last week of the year, but I'm going back home to Paris to spend the holidays with my family. So I really won't have the time to film it any other time. I'm going to be out of commission for like a month. So I've been like stockpiling some episodes and this will be the last episode I'm filming. So certain shows, unfortunately, I will review even though I'm not done with them yet because there's like one or two episodes still left to air. I will tell you guys, but yeah, I hate doing this. Actually, I really like reviewing a show when I've watched the entirety of it, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to do that. And compared to other episodes where I don't really add pictures and stuff like that, I will add the posters on my right instead of my beautiful Christmas tree right here. And I will start from worst to best so we can have a kind of like countdown to my top 10, then top 5, and then number 1 show of the year. Let's get into it. So in this year, I watched 48 shows, which is very good for me. If you don't know, just about 3 or 4 years ago, I watched around 90 to 80 shows a year, which was way too much, very overwhelming, very messy, because then I barely remembered any by the time I was doing these rankings. I really like the number of 50 and under, so this made it into the 50 and under, and I'm happy about that. Okay, let's start. So number 48, my least rated show of the year is The Proper Way to Write Love from Japan. I gave it a 5 out of 10. This show was really tonally weird. I also learned that it is nothing like the original work. I'm pretty sure the actors were very miscasted, if I believe what the readers of the original manga told me. And the chemistry was almost non-existent. The acting was not so good. The characters not really that likable. And this was really a big waste of time. And I'm usually not that harsh with projects because I'm glad that for me, a show has done its best when it like one exists and two also has like a clear vision and clearly has some love behind it. But here I really didn't feel the vision and I didn't feel the love. So a 5 out of 10 for me. Next, number 47, My Golden Blood from Thailand, obviously, released in 2025. I gave it a 6.5. Honestly, is it a horrible show that has left me scarred and disgusted for life? No, not at all. However, the shows this year were really, really good, like spoiler alert. And so that makes it my second to last show this year. My Golden Blood, I have a full review on it, so I won't speak much on it, but this was just a badly executed show, very empty. Honestly, with not much to it except like hot shirtless dudes and good chemistry. And at this point, if you don't know that that's not enough for me, I don't know what to tell you. Number 46, another show that I really didn't like, Hide and Sis from Thailand also. I also gave it a 6.5. Hide and Sis for me had so much potential, and I feel like it was really trying to be on the heels of the first ever show that Snap 25, the production company, did with GMMTV, which was P.S. I Hate You, one of my favorite GMMTV shows. Really, really good show. And Hide and Sis really failed to follow P.S. I Hate You, and nothing really made sense. I wasn't attached to the characters at all, actually. Most of them, the only character that I kind of liked was Ai's character, and even then, by the end, she was pretty unlikable still. I just didn't really feel anything while watching this show, even though it had a lot of actresses and actors that I love. Yeah. 6.5. Then we have Heartstain. So Heartstain, I honestly don't even remember what it is. So let me check what this show is about. It's a Korean drama. Oh. Yeah, it's about a guy in love with his teacher. I forgot everything about it. It was very, very forgettable. It didn't really touch me particularly. I don't remember anything from it. And for me, that tells me everything I have to know, which is that, like, it was basic as fuck. So yeah, I gave it a 7, which I think is pretty generous. But for me, 7 is like, you were watchable, but yeah, that's it. Then number 44, we have Business as Usual from Korea as well. I gave it a 7. I don't remember anything from that show either. What is the plot about? No idea. No, boring. I don't remember anything about it. Then we have Peach Trap from 2025 South Korea as well. This one I remember a little bit more because I recently finished it. This was so bad. This was a mess. This was not good at all. So if you don't know, this show is about one guy being pursued by 3 other guys. One is his best friend. One is his ex-boss because he got fired for malpractice, but he got set up. And the third one is a cafe owner. I was pro best friend. Of course, I love a best friend to lover, but I was also I liked the boss as well. The cafe owner, I hated him. I didn't understand why everyone in the comments were like, oh, he's gonna end up with the cafe owner. I was like, no, that cafe owner is creepy as fuck. But low-key, I felt so unsatisfied because why set up a love square? Which, is it really a love square if it's like 3 guys liking the same guy? I'm not so sure. But in any case, why would you set up a love square and make it so obvious by episode 2 or 3 out of 8 that he was gonna end up with the best friend, leaving the 2 other guys heartbroken, when it was right in front of our noses that the main guy should have ended up with the boss, because they had chemistry. The boss, super hot, okay? And then the best friend needed to go with the cafe owner because they had so much sexual tension. Girl, they were so good together. And they had like 3 scenes together. But they had more chemistry in these 3 scenes than anyone had with the main character. Also, I didn't like the main actor. I thought he was a little boring. Anyway, so I gave it a 7. Very forgettable, very frustrating show. No purpose to it whatsoever. Bye. Then we have number 42, FC Sold Out from South Korea again. You can see a lot of the, like, bottom shows are South Korean. Because there's a lot that get produced every year and they don't get much care oftentimes. This is about like a football club. And, I barely remember anything. It was cute or whatever. A 7. Then we have Something's Not Right from... What Something's Not Right? I think it's also Korea, yeah. Oh, yes, I remember that one. So Something's Not Right is a show also with the love triangle, also with the best friends to lover trope. Of course, I was for the best friend. The best friend actor and character was also the only likable character in that whole fucking show. I just don't love love triangles, and this one was especially dumb as fuck, so 7. Next, we have Ayaka is in love with Hiroko. This one is from 2024, and this is from Japan. I gave it a 7.5. It's a story of 2 lesbians who meet at work, but both of them kind of assume that the other is straight, so they are very awkward towards each other, and really take some time to realize that, oh, spoiler alert, they both like each other. I thought the premise of the show was really fun and quirky and interesting, and also very relatable to queer people. Because obviously, like, because we live in a heteronormative world, we have to, like, kind of guess around, like, gay? Bi? Trans? We have to kind of guess around. And so, especially in our dating lives. So I thought this was really interesting, but obviously I think oftentimes the problem with Japanese dramas is that they are so much more focused on like humor, and quirks than actual like chemistry and intimacy. And I feel like that was the case here. So 7.5. Next we have I Became the Main Role of a BL Drama 2. from 2025. Again, Japan, 7.5. This was a nice sequel. It was fun, but did it need to be done? Honestly, not really. I just kind of really like the main guy who plays like the secret like fan of his boyfriend. I think he's very fun, but apart from that, Next, we have Depth. At number 38, we have Depth of Field from Japan as well. 7.5 again. Depth of Field was a show that had some potential. I like that it had a main character who is very troubled and who sleeps with anyone. I thought that like it's interesting to have, although I'm not always a fan of like adult scenes in shows featuring teenage characters. Here I kind of like that it showed a teen who has sex because he feels so unloved. And I thought that was realistic and it didn't like sexualize him like a show like Euphoria would, for example. But in general, the love interest was really boring and I felt like there wasn't that much chemistry. So yeah. Next, we have at number 37, Secret Relationship from South Korea. I also gave it a 7.5. Secret Relationship. Oh yes, that's the show again with one guy being pursued, I believe, by 3 other guys. I thought that in terms of like seeing as there's been 2 Korean dramas with the same kind of premise, I thought this one was done better. But I still felt very frustrated by it and I didn't really quite like the characters that much. So that's why it's here at number 37. Next we have number 36, My Bias is Showing from, again, South Korea. Also 7.5. My Bias is Showing is, how to explain? It's a show that I think had a lot of like hype around it beforehand, but honestly for me didn't deliver on it at all. I just felt really, it was not a bad show, but it was very forgettable to me and a little bit underbaked. I thought that like if it had been, ultimately I think that's also what my broader issue with South Korean shows, like South Korean BL, is because almost all of them are 8 episodes shows, which you guys know I love a mini series. However, I also think it impedes on the feelings we can feel for these characters and for this story, because in 8 episodes there's not much to do, and also it's 8 episodes of 20 minutes. If it was 8 episodes of 40 minutes, then why not? But it's such a short runtime that it's really, really hard to get attached and feel much more beyond an episode. And I think that really impedes Korean show. What I would love to see next is an actual K-drama, which K-dramas are like 16 episodes of like 1 hour. I want that as a BL, like a BL in that format, because I would love to see what a BL could be with so many more characters developed and so much more stakes and character development. But unfortunately, this one didn't really have it. Now we have at 35, the first show that I haven't finished yet, Therapy Game, from Japan. I believe there's 1 or 2 episodes left for me to watch before the end of the year. As of now, I've given it a 7.5. I'm pretty sure my grade won't change, or if it changes, it might be a 7. So in any case, I will keep it here, but I will have editing Axelle probably make a change if I change my mind so drastically. In any case, I thought this show had so much potential. I love a good, like, unlikable main character. And I also thought that it was very interesting to have, and I thought it was an interesting dynamic and the chemistry was good. But unfortunately, this show beyond the like 2nd episode or 3rd episode becomes very bland and boring. And I also don't like the Sachip at all. They have no chemistry at all. Like 0. Like I was really shocked at how little chemistry. And unfortunately, I feel like that's somewhat common in like Japanese BL shows. But yeah, so it's a 7.5. It's not a bad show, but honestly not a good show either. Next we have number 34 at 25. at Akasaka 2. 25, I guess it's 1 a.m. I never understood why 25. Like, I know it's like a stylistic choice, but I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. And I gave it also a 7.5. You will see there's a lot of 7.5s in this list. We're not even halfway through the 7.5s. But I thought it was a very interesting sequel. I think it was well done. I thought it was a little bit long. I thought it could have been done in less episodes. Or at least like vary the source of like drama. This show has always felt to me a little bit like very self-important, self-aggrandizing, in the sense that it's very like a very serious show, and it shows a lot of like behind the scenes of acting. So we see a lot of like meta scenes where we see the characters acting for a show or a play, and we are watching it inside of this very show. But I thought that this kind of aspects of like, this show takes itself very seriously. It doesn't put me off. I'm French, and most of our like movies are very like indie, film d'auteur, take themselves very seriously. So I'm very used to this vibe. But I also thought that I understand why this show is a bit annoying, because the characters are very slow to go through their feelings, and I thought it was an interesting show though. Was it forgettable? Yes, but I thought it did something new, especially for a sequel. I thought it was interesting. And it is a well acted and well filmed show. So honestly, yeah, 7.5. Next, we have at number 33, My Secret Vampire from South Korea. Also a 7.5. My Secret Vampire, honestly, I really enjoyed the vampire lore of this show, which is much more, obviously, it's a very low budget vampire show, so they can't do much. Like, the only, special effect is literally their eye colors changing. I thought that this was fun. I liked the plot of like a random human having to live with vampires, and the vampires are very stealth and are hiding their identity, and they don't even drink human blood, like real human blood. I thought it was really interesting. Unfortunately, I thought the love interest super boring. Even the main character, there's not really any personality. I love the two best friends who are in love with each other, and wish we would have seen more of them because the chemistry was really good. But unfortunately, we didn't. So a 7.5. Oh, and I love the villain too. I thought he was great. Then we have at number 32, Knockout from Thailand, also a 7.5. I know maybe you guys are going to be shocked that I watched Knockout, because if you've noticed the pattern of the type of Thai dramas I watch, it's either GMM TV shows, or if it's outside of GMM TV shows, it's gonna be with actors I like or with a plot I like, but usually I kind of stray away from shows that look like they're gonna be mostly about fan service and sex scenes, and yet I fell for Knockout. So to be honest, I finished Knockout months ago, but I still have a lot of complex feelings that I haven't been able to really work through about this show, because I thought there were some aspects of it that were super nice and well done. Obviously, the chemistry is very good, but also I really liked the plot of the show, of the underground, like fighting ring, and the evil, was it an evil politician, evil mayor, obviously, evil mayor, evil businessman. It reminded me a little bit of Not Me on those parts, and Not Me is my favorite show of all time. There were some very interesting aspects of it. I just thought that in terms of emotional impact, and as you guys know, that's what I care about. Was there any? Not really. There were barely any emotional impact on me. But it was an interesting show. I thought that, I don't know, I think I also binge watched it, so I think it changed my vision of the show. I literally binged it in like a day and a half. And it's a long show, so, I was just like up on it. And I never watched the special episode, I think. Yeah, I skipped the special episode. So I don't think it was a bad show. I just wish it would have taken some of the time it spent making their characters fuck instead of working through their problems. Because literally the main couple, anytime they have a fight, a real like disagreement, they just fuck. And I'm like, no, that's not how a healthy relationship works. And you guys are supposed to be somewhat healthy, so it's not working. But in any case, sure, 7.5. next at number 31, we have Punk's Triangle. So I gave Punk's Triangle from Japan, by the way. Sorry, I forgot. I gave it also 7.5. I thought the premise of the show was interesting. I like a show with a strong, identity. In this case, it's both visual, but also in like the storytelling of the show. It's like very intertwined with it. I liked having characters who don't look like every other BL characters of all time, you know what I mean? Especially in Japan, like usually the characters, oh no, they do dye their characters' hair more often than Thailand, but like in general, I liked it. I thought the main character was a little bit annoying. I don't like meek characters. I think maybe you guys have gathered that by now. But like you can be meek and still be interesting. And here I felt like the actor was overplaying it a little bit. But the chemistry was nice. I think it was a cute show. I just think it was a little childish. I think the premise of like just him wearing a fucking shitty ass wig and being unrecognizable when he's like, I thought about it that like the model version of that, the love interest is supposed to be the idol of the main character. And I'm like, okay, who's my idol? Of Junpun, right? Of course, I had to mention him. Of Junpun. And if I were to see off with a fuck ass wig and a different style that I'm used to, I would still recognize him in 0.1 second, like genuinely. And I am good with faces, but still, you know. So I was just like, this is a little bit childish and dumb. So that's why it's a 7.5, but it wasn't a bad show. I think it mostly lost me on the second half of the show. Yeah. Next at number 30, that might be like a controversial move on my part, but you know, I have to just speak my truth. It is Love Design from Thailand, and I also gave it a 7.5. I was very excited for this show. I've been a fan of Jane Metika for so long. I also have been following Kao Supasara more from afar for a long time. And I was excited to see these two very big actresses in Thailand, have a ship together, have a pairing. This was a little bit of a boring show, unfortunately. I really liked the like architecture background to this show. I thought it was interesting. It was something new that we haven't seen. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I think the very first GL that Thailand did, this was in 2017 or some shit, a long time ago. It's called Condo Barista Architect. I'm not even sure it's being able to be viewed anywhere, on the internet, but it also has Toon Pakorn, okay? And, as a side character, obviously it's a GL. And it was also an architecture bruh. I just thought about it. It was also an architecture GL. And this was the first Thai GL, 8 years ago. Anyways, all of that to say, I thought this was a little bit boring. I think the pairing was a little bit boring. The story was a little bit boring. This was well made, well filmed. The acting is good. I just didn't feel it. The stakes and even the chemistry, I didn't quite feel it. I don't know. I felt like this show was pretty surface level, and as you guys know, I like shows that go more in depth. So that's why I gave it a 7.5. It was still a very cute show. I enjoyed watching it. It just didn't really do it for me. And I know it's a pretty controversial opinion because as I saw last time, its grade on my drama list is very, very high. So I'm sorry for that, but I have to speak my truth. Next, at number 29, we have Boys in Love, which I gave a 7.5. And I know probably you are gonna hate me for putting Boys in Love above Love Design. To be honest, it could have been either or. The only reason I put Boys in Love above Love Design is that low-key, I had more fun watching it than I did Love Design a little bit. I don't know why. I just enjoyed Boys in Love a little bit more. Gonna have a full review up on this channel, so you guys can just check that out. But I thought it was a very mediocre, forgettable show. But I don't know, I still enjoyed it. Sometimes I do like a good, forgettable, mediocre show, you know? Next, we have number 28, Queendom from Thailand, a 7.5 once again. Queendom was a show that I was super excited for. I didn't really have big hopes for it, but it did kind of start very strongly in my opinion, and it kind of went down in quality as the show progressed, mostly because this show is kind of empty. There's not much going on. You would think if it's about two girls, two rivals, okay, switching bodies, there would be more emphasis on the fact that they've switched bodies, but when they switch bodies, they literally get used to it in 0.1 second, and I don't know, I felt like the stakes were very low. I did like the side chick though, and I especially liked seeing Lynn, the actress Lynn, in this, because she has been a woman that I've looked at for a very long time in other like straight roles and shit, and I've always been like, this girl should do GL. She has the daddy energy that really makes it so she should do the GL, you know? And, I have to thank this show for giving this to me, you know? Even though her character was a little bit annoying as well. I just didn't really feel attached to any of the characters, and I also didn't love how the main pairing is oftentimes like very childish in the way they act. A little bit childish for like grown women. Yeah. Next we have a Player, at number 27, also from Thailand. Player is also a show that I have not finished yet. I have one episode left, but I'm pretty sure of what my final answer is gonna be. It's gonna be 7.5 again. Player, honestly, is a show that I hadn't heard about until it had already started airing, and I think it's a really fun show. I think it's a really interesting show. It stands out in my opinion from other GLs because it's not afraid to have drama. It's not afraid to have the actresses kiss other girls. And I think that's very interesting, much more realistic to be like, oh, actually they hurt each other. They almost like cheat on each other, and there's a lot of like kind of toxicity, but ultimately I do believe they are a good pairing. Like, are they the best pairing ever? No, of course not. But, like, I do believe in this pairing, and I honestly think this show is quite relatable. I understood Pun, the main character, being, like, very, kind of feeling like the least favorite in her family, and feeling so much pressure because no one has ever expected anything from her. And honestly, I think this show is like, is it a little bit forgettable? Yes. I think it's honestly a pretty solid show, and I think it's kind of underrated. So if you haven't heard about it or haven't watched it yet, I would recommend you try it. Then next we have number 26, Ball Boys Tactics from Korea. I gave it an 8. The only reason I gave it an 8 is that the chemistry for South Korea was it's only like 2-3 BL shows a year in South Korea that actually have like really good chemistry, and this was one of them. Like when they kissed, oh, this was good as kissing, okay? They were kissing for their lives, okay? And that's what I want. Make me believe it. It's a love story, make me believe in the love, okay? So I gave it an 8, but it's kind of on that, honestly, it doesn't quite deserve the 8, but you know, I have to give it flowers for the chemistry. It's a rare sight for Korean BLs. Next we have 25. So honestly, number 26 and 25 usually low-key deserve more to be a 7.5, but whatever, I'll let it slide. I'm feeling generous. Because 25 is a dating game from Thailand and also in collaboration with Japan. I also gave it an 8. Dating Game is a show that I feel like no one watched it, no one gave a fuck about it, and I thought, again, I have a full review on it, go watch it. Will it be out before this episode? I think so. I think it will be out right before this. I really enjoyed the intercultural aspect of the show. I thought it was an interesting show. For me, it really stood out because it has a different vibe. Sometimes you watch a show and you feel just a different way than you've ever felt before while watching it. And that was how I felt during Dating Game. And I think I shouldn't take this for granted. I, again, have watched so many dramas in my life. So many. I don't even know how I watched that many. And when a show actually manages to stand out to me, I have to like reward it, and I reward it by giving it an 8. Apart from that, was it the best show ever? Not at all, but I liked it. Leave me alone. Next, we have another show that I haven't finished yet. We have number 24. We have Love Begins in the World of If, which I hate this title. It should have been Love Begins at the Word If, not in the world of If. I know that they're talking about world because he literally changes worlds. Well, whatever. I didn't like it. I think it's very mouthy name. I don't like it. I gave it an 8 so far. I still have 2 episodes. I kind of hate having to rate this show so early because it's only 6 episodes. So technically I've only seen 2/3 of the show, even if there's only 2 episodes left. I think this show, honestly, the 2 first episodes kind of lost me. I was kind of like, this is kind of boring. Nothing much is happening, but actually the 2 second episodes, the 3rd and 4th episodes really won me back over because I really understood like how one action in your life, sometimes you do one thing wrong and you didn't even realize that it was wrong. You just like followed your heart, followed your guts, and yet it changes the whole course of your life. And here it's a very interesting show. I think it's a very relatable show for like introverts or socially awkward people. Honestly, I can really relate to it, even though I'm not so socially awkward anymore since I moved here to Thailand, but I've been that way for so long, and I still sometimes feel some anxiety at having to like talk to people and introduce myself in new settings. So I think it's a very good show. Love. I do have to give its credits to the opening credits. So gorge. Literally a painting come to life. Like, it's so good. No, I like when a show has like a strong direction, strong vibe. This is very well executed for sure. Next, we have number 23, When It Rains, It Pours. I also gave it an 8. When It Rains, It Pours, I really enjoyed and hated at the same time. It's the cheating show, right? Let me check, because sometimes I forget. Again, I watched so many shows. Yeah, it's the cheating show. Yeah. It's a show that honestly I really enjoyed on the moment. Is it the most like unforgettable show of all time? No, but I really liked the premise of it. I thought some parts of it were a little bit forced and dumb, and I felt like communication could have settled this issue so much earlier than before, but unfortunately didn't. So that's, and also usually when there is miscommunication, it's so the show can actually span for longer than like one episode. But it was good. The chemistry was good. The story was interesting and quite different than other Japanese BLs. So an 8. Next, at number 22, we have 10 Things I Want to Do Before I Turned 40, also from Japan, and also an 8. This show, honestly, I came into a little bit as a hater because one of my favorites, if not my favorite Japanese BL, the one that has stayed the most with me, is Old Fashioned Cupcake, which has a romance between a boss who is turning 40 with his employee who is turning 30. And it's more, there's more issues. It talks about growing old and having a midlife crisis, all that stuff. And it's such a good show. It's 5 episodes, and it's 5 episodes of perfection. The acting is great. The chemistry is great. The writing is great. Everything about this show, I've rewatched it so many times. It's perhaps the show in the most recent years that I've rewatched the most often because I fucking love it. Okay, it's my fave. And I was like, okay, so now we also have like a 40-year-old employee boss who's gonna date his like younger employee, and also there's a list in it to things he wants to do before he turns 40, and it's also about like aging and not really properly living life and kind of having like the same routine as a salaryman where it's kind of like boring. And this show is definitely not as good as Old Fashioned Cupcake, but I still enjoyed it very much. I just felt like it kind of lost its steam towards the second half of the show. I thought then a lot of the episodes were spent with the two characters not being together and actually being sad or being like mad at each other or things like that. And I felt it kind of lost its steam towards the end, but it was still a good show. I really liked the actor of the main character, who is 40. I thought he was very cute, very believable. The other actor was cute too, but I don't know, a little bit more withdrawn. I know it's also the character that's supposed to be like more cool, more calm and collected, but I don't know. I definitely prefer the love interest in Old Fashioned Cupcake, who is like, whew, sexy as fuck. Anyway, number 21, The Journey to Killing You, also from Japan, also an 8. This show, my biggest gripe with this show, but by far, is that they choose to start it with a rape scene that serves absolutely no purpose, that is obviously disgusting. And honestly, I almost didn't watch the show because of it. Like, when I watched that shit unfurl, I was so disgusted and put off that I almost didn't watch this show, which is so sad. Why? Because this show is fucking good. This show has a clear vision, a clear branding, a clear image that it wants to portray. It's executed very well, directed very well, filmed very well. The actors are good. The story is unique and interesting and stands out. It's very much giving indie vibes, film d'auteur once again, like very much not like commercial BL, okay? And even the like opening credits, I'm pretty sure it's the opening credits that roll after the rape scene in the first episode that convinced me to stay to finish the first episode, because the opening credits are very well done too. They have this sort of, the song they chose is very nostalgic. Honestly, this was very fucking good. This was like a gay queer movie in the form of a series, and this was really good. And I'm even more off-put as to why they had to include rape in this shit, because I feel like this was just for shock value, and I hate that shit. I hate that shit so bad. We live in a world where there is so much sexual violence. It's not something to be used for shock value. It's something real, and it's something to be dealt with like really delicate gloves. That's my opinion. But in any case, still a good show, but I'm so mad that the first scene of it is so disgusting. Yeah. Next, at number 20, we have broke the top 20. We have Breakup Service from Thailand. I gave it an 8. So obviously Breakup Service with my favorite actor of all time, of Jumpon. I also have a full episode on this show that's very long, but it's one of my favorite episodes I've ever made for Axelle's Guide to Thai Dramas. I thought Breakup Service was really fun, and it has a lot of flaws, but it has also a lot of like lovable quirks, and I really love the main pairing of this show. And seeing as it's probably one of the last GMMTV like straight pairing shows they are making for a while, because like for GMMTV 2026 they've announced very few straight pairing, and even those are like big ensemble cast ones and not really in the same vibe as Breakup Service. I'm glad that this happened. I'm glad that this happened with my man, my love of Jumpon, okay? And I really enjoyed this show. Next, at number 19, we have Rearrange from also Thailand, and also is an 8. Rearrange, I almost made an episode on it, and then I opted against, because again, it's one of these shows that I have so many conflicted feelings about. I know this show was low-key a little bit of a flop. I think like a lot of people didn't love it. I honestly really enjoyed it. I thought this show had like a lot of soul and was very nostalgic to me. It reminded me in certain ways of like old school BL shows, and I really enjoyed the friendship in this show. I really enjoyed, in general, I really enjoy shows of people who turn back time. And Be My Favorite for GMMTV is one of my favorite BL shows they've ever done. And this is kind of in the same vein, where I think it's very relatable to want to turn back time and fix the past and be happier in life. And be unsatisfied with your life until you can finally turn back time and maybe get a second chance, which obviously doesn't happen in real life. So I think these shows kind of serve as like a self-serving fantasy that kind of everyone has at least had once in their life, right? But Rearrange was a little bit messy, I think, in certain aspects. And I thought that I think that its flaws is also the reason why I really like this show. Is I think it was very ambitious for a first project for this company that I know the production company was started by Mukwaranit, who used to be at GMMTV for like 10 years. And he's obviously a very big actress. And for very first project, I think it's very ambitious, and I thought it was honestly very well done. But it is a little bit, it's kind of forgettable, in certain ways. So that's why it's an 8 and not higher. But at the first episode, in my opinion, was a very, very strong first episode. And honestly, I would have thought the show would have been even more strong for the rest of the show. But unfortunately, I think the quality kind of dipped halfway through as well, which is very common with Thai dramas, unfortunately. Next, number 18, we have Stay By My Side After the Rain from Japan, also an 8. Stay By My Side After the Rain is a show that at first I wasn't really into and then kind of grew on me. I thought it was a really great exploration of like first loves and misunderstandings, and also the pressure of being queer in Japanese society, which is something that, yes, it's a topic that is broached quite often in BL shows in Japan, because obviously it's interesting that there is a whole industry in Japan, be it with yaoi manga, yuri mangas, and then you have also BL and GL shows being made when Japan is so conservative and so like right-leaning. And I think it's very interesting when these shows kind of tackle these types of topics of like what is the reality of being queer in Japan. So I really like this show. I really fell for this pairing. I thought they were very sweet and very encouraging, if not a little bit blonde, but you know, I can forgive blondes because I thought that they had enough to do in the show to make me forget that they're a little bit boring. Next, we have number 17, The X Morning from Thailand, and we have also a show rated 8. The X Morning, also I have an episode on it. I really enjoyed it. It was honestly a show that I really enjoyed on the moment. To be honest, now it's been a few months since it has ended. Was it the most like memorable show ever? No, of course not. But unfortunately, again, like in a sea of like BL shows being released every year, it's kind of fucking difficult to stand out. And I thought The X Morning was very lovable, very fun show. I really enjoyed it, even despite its flaws, despite the fact that, again, it's not the most like stand out show GMMTV has ever done. I really, really enjoyed it, and it also gave me all the feels because my first ever Thai drama was with Chris Singto, and it was Sotus. So yeah. Next, at number 16, we have Harmony Secrets, also from Thailand, and also an 8. Harmony Secrets, also I have an episode on it coming. I think, yeah, again, it will also be released before this episode. Harmony Secret was really, really a good show. I think it was very solid. It really kept me going. Did I adore the main pairing? No, I would say that's its biggest flaw, like for me. But in general, I think it was a really like high budget, high execution show, and it was definitely very, very good. So I really enjoyed it. Next, we have number 15, a show that I literally finished this morning before filming this. I probably shouldn't disclose this, but yeah. And this is also maybe why it's rated so high, is because I just finished it. So I'm still kind of on a high of, how I feel about this show. It is Mystic in the Mirror, also from Thailand, and again, also an 8. Mystic in the Mirror, for me was a show that I found fascinating. You guys know that I like innovation and I like execution. And I thought this show was really innovative, in its cinematography, gorge, in its, storytelling, also very, it's a show that is a BL, so a love story, but also there is psychological horror and like, it's very much a thriller, I would say, of a show. And I thought this was very unique for BL shows. I thought some BL shows have tried to lean into these kinds of genres, but this was the first one where I felt like it actually did it for real. And it even made me cry towards the end. So again, if you manage to make me feel something while I watch a show, for me, that's a huge advantage and a huge win for the show. I just think this show is very, very unique, very clear vision, and honestly I'm looking forward to seeing more from this director and screenwriter. I don't know who they are, but honestly I think they really did so great. It was also very interesting to see the main actor who was in Hormones. So this year we had Dating Games with Marsha Tawich, who was in a pairing with this actor. I think his name is T something. I'm so sorry. And they were the first ever BL ship in Thailand with the show Hormones, the series released in 2013. This was even before Lovesick, Make It Right, Sotus, all of that stuff. And literally both of these actors, Marsha Tawich and T, I don't know his last name, have decided to do BL shows in 2025. But it's not with each other. Honestly, I'm putting it in the universe. Make a Hormones like sequel, but only with these characters. And also now I'm realizing maybe the actor isn't even named T, but I think his character was named T in Hormones. And anyways, please make a sequel of these two characters in Hormones like over 10 years later, because I know they didn't end up together in Hormones, but they deserve a better ending. And I think now that both actors have done BL, I feel like they would be down. Just do it. It would be so iconic. But in any case, Mystic in the Mirror was really, really good. Very much a different BL show. It's not like a romantic. It's not a show that's gonna make you feel good. I was confused and stressed the whole show. But it was really good. I really, really enjoyed it. Next, we have at number 14, Chosen Home. It's again a show that is not over yet. There's 2 episodes left, but I've given it an 8 already for the simple reason that it's definitely a type of show that is right down my alley. It's very quirky, ensemble cast about family and emotions. It has queer characters, so obviously love that. I think it's a very touching, beautiful show. And I really admire the most its quirkiness. Like, you can tell this show is at the same time about very serious topics, but talks about them in such a quirky, light-hearted manner that it's both cute and then even more touching in some way. I really enjoy this show. Its only flaws, in my opinion, is again that it does struggle with the same issues that most Japanese BLs struggle with, which is that they lack intimacy, and I understand that here they're older gay characters, and it's a show with also a main character who is a minor. So I'm pretty sure this show is more targeted towards like younger people, teenagers and stuff. And that's why they don't feature any type of like kisses or like any intimacy. But for me, it was just a little bit off-putting to see them like move together, want to buy a house together, get not married, but like paxed together before we've even seen them kiss. It seemed a little bit rushed to me. But anyways, apart from that, a very, very touching show. Love it very much. Next, number 13, another show that is not over yet. There's only 1 episode left, and it is School Trip, Join the Group I'm Not Close To from Japan, also an 8. This is such a good show. It makes me feel all the feels. I love the main actor. So the main actors, I already saw it last year in the show Smells Like Teen Spirit, where he played the love interest, and completely different role, by the way. Like, if you want to compare his acting in both, he's giving very much different vibes. I think that main actor is so good. I want to see him in 50 more BL shows because he's so good. Like, he's so good. He's so good. Okay, let me be clear on that. He carries this show on his shoulders. He's so good. The acting, the subtle acting, his eyes, when his eyes start getting wet, are so good. But apart from that, this is a very cute, chill, touching story of like first love and being like silly and kind of accepting being queer. And I love how the friend group is accepting of their friends dating. And I just think it's the cutest fucking show. It's just so cute. It's just so cutesy, so sweet. And again, it's carried by great acting and great chemistry, and I just love it so much. I hate the title though, that it should have just been School Trip, because this, I don't know why Japanese like shows are always having titles that are longer than like a full sentence. Like literally some of these titles are like 2 sentences, 3 sentences. I'm like, calm down, please. Okay. This is a very good show though. I love it so much. The only reason I gave it an 8 is because, again, I think it held my interest a little bit more in the first half than the second. But yeah. Next, at number 12, we are approaching the top 10. We have That Summer from Thailand, also an 8. That Summer, I also have a full episode coming on That Summer. I'm pretty sure it will come after, though, this ranking. I'm not so sure. I'm pretty sure, though. In any case, it will come. That Summer was a really enjoyable show. Definitely one of my favorite BLs from GMMTV this year. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a very interesting story to tell, and I really loved the main pairing and the main characters. So yeah, very good show. Next, we have maybe a controversial opinion. I didn't think it was controversial, but I learned afterward that it was. At number 11, we have Hisu in Class 2 from South Korea, an 8.5. This show was very contested because I know a lot of people thought that the side pairing that is straight got more screen time than the main pairing. I will agree that I wish that the main pairing would have kissed, and I wish that the main pairing would have had a lot more like intimacy scenes, especially towards the end when they both know they liked each other and they both are dating. And I do agree that the straight side pairing is very, very developed, but in my opinion, it didn't I didn't see it as unfair. I still think the main characters of the show were the queer characters. And also, I honestly really love this show. I thought it was also a very similar story to School Trip, which is like your first queer love, like figuring out things, and maybe it drags it. The only flaw of this show, in my opinion, is like no kissing. Obviously, I'm like, if you're gonna tell a queer story, you should have them kiss. Like, I'm sorry, no. You should have them kiss, because if it was a straight story, like the same story but straight, which wouldn't really, it's not easily translatable, but whatever, you would have them kiss. For sure. Like, let's be for real. So I hate when like you can tell that they didn't make them kiss because it's 2 boys. Like, I hate that shit. But apart from that, I also didn't like that, they really drag it out, for the entirety of the show. But I still really loved it. I thought the main character, the main actor was so cute, so relatable. And I really felt a lot for this show. So for me, it's in number 11. Yeah. Next, we have finally in my top 10. Okay. Top 10 of the year. This is exciting. We have at number 10, Lost in the Woods from Thailand. An 8.5. I also have made a full episode on it. This is such an underrated gem. It's very slow, very understated, queer cinema, very, very cute, and kind of bittersweet story at the same time. I loved it so much. It was definitely one of my favorites of the year. So good. Go watch my full review on it if you don't mind getting spoiled, and also just go watch the show. It's so good. Next, at number 9, we have Our Youth from Japan, from technically 2024, whatever. For me, it's an 8.5. It's definitely such a great show, because compared, if like in the past few shows that I've rated, we've had School Trip and we've had Hisu in Class 2. All 3 shows deals with a queer love story in high school, where we have characters figuring themselves out and kind of experiencing this first like kind of puppy love. But this show really manages to add so much more stakes, because the love interest in the show is being abused by his dad physically, and it really adds so much more stakes to the show. I thought this show was really touching. very raw at times. The chemistry was beautiful. The acting was good. This was a very, very good, solid show. It's definitely one of the best Japanese BLs like ever. Very, very solid show. An 8.5 for me. Number 8, we have Tempo, Hearts That Skip a Beat. I also have a full review on it. This was a really well done show. The music for the show is great. The love story is cute and touching. It's a little bit blunt, but thankfully is saved by the fact that this plot is pretty original and hasn't really been done before in BL. So I really, really enjoyed it. An 8.5. Next, we have number 7, Dala, Death and the Flowers. I also have a review on this show. Also an 8.5. As you will see, I have lowered it from my review. In my review, I gave it a 9. But I decided to lower it because thinking about it, it is still a little bit of a forgettable show. And I think that it has it's a great show, but it's not a show that has lots of soul, I would say, because it's much more of like a mystery. But if you like more thrillers and mysteries and murder mysteries, I think you will really enjoy this show. I thought it was really well done, really well executed, acted. It was a really good show, but yeah, maybe not that gripping to the emotions in general. Next, number 6, we have I'm the Most Beautiful Count from Thailand. Also an 8.5. I also have a full review on I'm the Most Beautiful Count coming. I loved this show so much. It made me so happy. I loved it. Like, I genuinely loved it. I thought it was so fun to see openly queer characters in the past, in historical show. I think this is something that unfortunately like queer people have been robbed of. We don't have like very openly queer. I know there's a few historical figures, but like it's very rare to have those. And also we don't, obviously we can't see them. It's only by historical records, because obviously this was like before cameras. But in general, I just really loved seeing these openly queer characters in the past. I think this show has everything for itself. It's fun. It's light-hearted, but also deals with deeper issues and political coup. It has like action and adventure, and it has everything. And the characters are so lovable. And honestly, the more I think about this show, the more I'm like, this show is one of the best Thai dramas ever. Like, in terms of like, it doesn't really fit in one particular genre. It's very much of like a UFO of a show. And it really stands out to me. And honestly, I genuinely believe that I'm going to be thinking about this show for a very long time. I thought it was so iconic and I love it so much. It's so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Next, at number 5, we have Us from Thailand, which is also an 8.5. I also have an episode on them. Us is so good. I thought it was such a solid GL. It became my favorite GL, and you will see it has been actually so. This year was very, very special for me because this year is the year that I started watching a lot more GL shows. And also this is the year where I had the first GL show, which was Us, and then it got dethroned. And then I had a favorite GL show again, and then it got dethroned. And you will see all of this in my top 5, okay? So at number 5, we have Us, which is such a good show. I loved that it punished for the very first time a toxic parent in a Thai drama. The chemistry is amazing. The story is touching. It has a really good balance of like love and also more drama. And I really, really enjoyed this show very much. I loved it. Next, at number 4, we have the show that briefly dethroned Us, which is Well Store XOXO. I also have an episode on it. It's also an 8.5, but I loved it a little bit more than Us because I thought that it had a little bit more stakes and a little bit more, if not soul, at least for me, I felt a little bit more attached to these characters at the end of the show. And I loved Well Store XOXO. Really, go watch my review and go watch that show. But it was very successful. It's such a good show. It's so, so good. Next, at number 3, we are now in my top 3. We have, of course, Love in the Moonlight from Thailand. Also an 8.5. And I also have a review of the show coming up. Love in the Moonlight. So good. I thought this show had so much stakes and love and soul to it, and it really made me feel all the emotions, and that's all I can ask for a show, is just make me feel. And this show didn't just make me feel happy or sad or frustrated or angry or whatever. It made me feel all the spectrum of emotions in only 10 episodes. No. Yeah. Is it 10 episodes? 12 episodes? No, in only 12 episodes, sorry. And I loved it so much. I'm a huge fan of the pairing now. I loved it. I loved it so much. So good. Next, at number 2. Oh my god, we're almost done, you guys. At number 2, we have another show that I have made a review of. We have Mad Unicorn from Thailand also, and it's also a 9. I thought this was gonna be my number 1 for the longest time, and it almost was. You will see which show is my number 1. And this is such a good show. It's so well executed. It also makes you feel all the emotions. So well filmed. The acting performances are the best of the year, without a doubt. An amazing show. I think it's gonna be very, very iconic in so many ways. Yeah, it has to be Mad Unicorn at number 2. And now for my number 1. So I'm taking the biggest risk ever, okay? Because my number 1, there is still 1 episode left to air in 2025. But obviously, again, I'm filming this before I'm leaving for Paris, so I have to do it now. And I'm still making it my number 1. And it is Claire Bell, the series from Thailand, for which I gave a 9. Claire Bell, the review, okay, is the episode on Claire Bell is coming. Okay, first of all. Oh, this is like a little bit Orange is the New Black vibes, but also not at all. This is like the direction, the execution of this show is beyond. The acting is incredible. Chemistry, so good. And this is a show that just makes me feel so much. It's so well executed. It beats every other show I've watched this year. It is a masterpiece, and I am so excited because now Claire Bell has dethroned, obviously, Wellstore XOXO. So again, we had us, number 1, dethroned by Wellstore XOXO, Wellstore XOXO, trumped by Claire Bell. What a fucking show. And this is exactly what I was waiting for. And I was excited for Claire Bell for a very long time, since the teaser dropped, because I really thought that I've been begging for actually, I'm pretty sure if you watch some of my episodes, you will hear me beg for it. For GL that is like very indie vibes, very like strong direction behind it. Because we haven't gotten that yet, and Claire Bell did it. Claire Bell did it, and Claire Bell is airing at the same time as Burnout Syndrome. So at the same time, I have my favorite GL and probably my favorite BL of the moment airing at the same time with strong cinematographies and strong directions and strong acting, and I love it so much. And also something to say about society. No, Claire Bell is amazing. And I love it so much, and I hope the last episode doesn't ruin it for me, because it's been such a pleasure to watch. Like literally my eyes feast upon the cinematography of the show, and I just love every single detail of the show. I low-key have, honestly, the last episode is even better than the first 7. I might give this a higher grade even more, you know, and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. Okay. So definitely an amazing show. This year was definitely life-changing for me in terms of my love for Thai dramas. I really have felt back my love grow, and I've said that before, but I'm so happy, you guys. I'm really happy that I feel that my passion for Thai dramas, which has led me to move here to Thailand and learn Thai and go to fan meets with actors and to concerts and listen to T-pop. T-pop is my most listened to genre on Spotify. I'm really happy that I'm kind of finding that love back for Thai dramas, because it left me for a few years and now I'm kind of getting back to it, and I'm really excited for what 2026 holds. I hope it doesn't let me down. And I'm really happy with the shows I watched this year. As you can see, a lot of them are 8s or 8.5 or 9s. And yeah, I just love this year. This was my favorite year in terms of Thai dramas since like 2019. Yeah, 2019. Anyways, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed my ranking of the year. I will see you next week. Bye bye.